Hello friends, welcome back for another video. Today we are doing a postpartum update, which is crazy to me that our little girl has been here for 2 weeks now. If you are new around here, my name is Sandy-Kaye and I film motherhood content here on my channel. So if you're into that, please do subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000 subs before the end of the year. So fingers crossed we can do it, because trying to put out content right now is really a struggle for me as I'm figuring it out with 3 kids now, almost under 3. My son just turned 3 on the 3rd of November, and this little girl came on November 4th. So almost birthday buddies there. Let's dive into me and my postpartum update, and then I'll dive into a little bit on baby and how she's doing. So as far as me and how I'm doing, my symptoms or whatever so far is I am just constantly thirsty and hungry, as breastfeeding just takes it all out of me. Feels like it zaps all my nutrients. So I'm drinking electrolytes every day and just constantly drinking, constantly eating. And then a not so fun one, kind of TMI, is some constipation and gas, which is really not fun. I had way more gas than even in pregnancy, so that's not so fun. But I think it's just so many different foods that I've been eating, as so many wonderful people have been bringing me food, and I'm just not eating what I would typically. So it's kind of thrown me off and given me the gas. I've also noticed at night that I'll be super hot and then super cold, and it kind of just goes back and forth a lot. So I'm constantly kicking my blankets off and then snuggling them up closer and grabbing another blanket. As far as my mood, I would say I'm pretty steady, even kill, but definitely if I'm a little hungry or it's just one of those days, you know, I feel like I'm more easily set off if my toddler does something that I'd usually just like, might bother me a little more or cause a little more frustration for me. So trying to just be patient with my toddlers is a little harder these days, but obviously doing my best. In general, it's just harder to discipline my toddler as he's testing boundaries and very much in that mode of when he's frustrated, just like hitting you or scratching you, you know, all that fun stuff, hurting his sister. So with the lower energy of waking up multiple times in the night, then I don't always discipline as well as I probably should or would want to with my toddler. And then also simple house tasks seem more overwhelming these days. I've also been experiencing moments of loneliness, which when you're just like with a newborn all day, but even when you have like family around, it's kind of wild, and it's probably not talked about enough. You know, you've got people around, so you feel like I shouldn't be feeling lonely, but there's just like a weird sense of loneliness. Sometimes when you're up in the night a lot, you're alone just taking care of this newborn, and you know, so I just want to touch on that there are lonely moments. And also it's been hard with my friend passing away, who was my same age and my neighbor. She was really like my only mom friend, and so that's kind of been tough to not have a close mom friend again. So living in a tiny community of, you know, not many people here in rural Nevada, then it is kind of a balance to find mom friends. So I'm kind of gonna need to branch out and do that eventually. I would say I'm feeling excited and a little scared to have it full on with 3 kids. Today might be my first official day of doing it so far, and then my mom-in-law is gonna come help for a couple days, which I'm so grateful for. And so I'm not officially done like a full week all by myself, which I'm so grateful for, because I've had my mom come and my friend come, and we went to my in-laws, and then they're coming to us. So I'm just grateful for all the help we've had and meals we've had brought to us. So but I'm also excited for the challenge that I know it will be of having 3 kids and the fun of it. Let's talk about body and how I'm feeling. So there's definitely days of not feeling as confident in my body, And something that's really hard for me is I love working out, and I like breaking a sweat and pushing myself to the limits. And so postpartum is kind of tricky for me more mentally, just with not working out. It's kind of like part of my identity, like, because I love doing it so often. So when I have that stripped from me and I don't have all those endorphins that come from that, then it can just make me feel like blah and not super great. So something I've been doing is just getting out in the sun more every day if I can, and just going for little walks, trying not to push it too hard, like keeping it around a mile. And let's be honest, I'm not supposed to be picking up my kids, but my 1.5-year-old, like, she's in a crib still, so I at least have to put her down for a nap and lift her up and put her down for bed. And so that's twice, and I probably lift her up like 2 other times. But when I can, I give her a step stool so she can get up to her high chair and stuff like that. But I have found that a little challenging, like not being able to, you're not supposed to lift up your kids for 3 weeks, I think it is. And that is super a challenge, especially when my 3-year-old is like, "Mommy, hold me." And I sit down and hold him, and he's like, "Stand up." And I'm like, "I can't, buddy," to like explain to him that I'm still healing, but at least he has greater understanding than my 1.5-year-old. She's just like, no excuses, Mom. Well, feeling really good in my body, and like I can do everything I want, but just having to take it down a notch and trying to take it easy. But I really do feel like back to kind of normal. I can't really say normal. My body does not look the same, obviously, yet. Like, I've still got more of a belly because I'm just had a baby 2 weeks ago and that type of thing, but I really do feel a lot like myself, besides like lower energy and that type of thing. Something exciting is that I'm almost done bleeding. Yay! That's never really fun, and I feel like it's kind of gone quicker and quicker with each kid that I've had. Not be bleeding at like the 2-week mark. It's been a couple days now of like just wearing liners and being fine. So super grateful for that, because that's just one more thing that's a little tricky to take care of for yourself when you're trying to take care of other kids. Then one of the hardest things, or I guess not hardest, but most annoying things, is just milk spilling and squirting everywhere. I am one of those super grateful to have like more of an oversupply, more on that side. But I found it honestly a little stressful because I don't have much room in my freezer left, so I need to try and reach out and see if there's other moms that need milk at this time, because I would love to donate. But yeah, it's just like I'm catching 1 ounce or 2 ounces on just like in a little cup, not even using the haka, with no suction, and I'm just constantly making more and more milk, and I can feel my milk coming in multiple times before she even feeds. And I'm just leaking in my shirt, so I have to constantly be changing my shirt. I always have to wear a disposable pad at the very least, and I'll put like a rag in there sometimes, or just like the milk catchers, and it's a struggle to keep up with sometimes. Last up, I just wanted to touch on how is it going with 3 kids, and just like as an overall thing, and it's been going pretty well. In a lot of senses, it feels kind of normal, which I've had so much help, so maybe I shouldn't speak too soon, but it does just kind of feel like we're in a rhythm, and the kids are doing great with their little sister. It's so sweet to see her older brother and sister wanting to hold her and just wanting to love on her, and when she needs something, her older brother's running and trying to get her a bottle and whatnot. So that's really awesome. And then in a lot of ways it slows me down a lot, because everything just takes longer when you have more kids, a newborn. So like making some food, or trying to get out of the house, or cleaning up the house, like everything just is another level, because now you have more diapers, milk to be put away, nursing, you know, just all the extra things that come with a newborn. But it's really been awesome too. I've been loving it. And if you can't tell though, I am a little bit lower energy, because let's talk sleep. We'll kind of transition to baby and how she's doing. She is sleeping like 3-hour stretches at night, and that feels pretty good, but I would like to stretch it to 4 hours soon. I feel like my body kind of wakes up on demand at 3 hours, and then if my milk feels really full and then she's kind of like wrestling, then I'll just like get her up and try and feed her, since I'm already awake. And so that seems what it's about right now. Like 3 times. We go to bed around 9, and then 9 or 10, and then she wakes up at like 1, 4, 5. That's how it was last night. 5, and then woke up at like 7:30 for the day. So that's kind of how it's been looking lately. And I've been doing elimination communication, or EC, with her. If you don't know what that is, it's just taking your newborn on a little potty or over the toilet or sink, and just I do it at every diaper change, and most of the time she'll go. I've noticed though she started getting very upset if she doesn't need to go and I try putting her on the potty, then she will let me know. But it's very typical too that they'll kind of like and then stop and then pee or poop. So just kind of fuss for a minute, likely because it's a little cold when you take their diaper off. But I love doing this because I don't experience blowouts and poop, you know, going all up the back and stuff. I haven't had that yet. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen to me. But when you do it, or you even hear them starting to poop sometimes, and you put them on the potty, then you'll still avoid a blowout because they only did a little bit in their diaper. And they're like us, where they don't like to poop on themselves and sit in it. So it feels good for me to be able to do that for her and just have another way to support her if she's crying. So yeah, we're doing that. As far as breastfeeding, she is a little champ. She does great. She's had a good latch from the beginning, and hardly any, there's not really nipple tenderness anymore for me, which is awesome. Just like, you know, a little sting at the initial latch, and then it's back to normal. So it's been going well. She is a lot like my son, my firstborn, who would nurse up to like an hour, and I definitely notice it just draining the energy out of me and making me so much more hungry and thirsty. Because with my second daughter, she would only nurse up to 5 minutes, 10 minutes max, and I just felt like I hardly had to eat anymore because she was just so efficient, I guess, efficient at just getting the milk she needed very quickly. And so definitely noticing more hunger. And I hear my toddler is awake, so I better go get him. The last step would just be hiccups. She gets them a lot and she hates them. So giving her a binky helps with that. But anyway, let me go get my son, and then I will show you, I was going to say the bump update, but the little body update for 2 weeks postpartum. Well, here's my body at 2 weeks postpartum. Very loose clothes. And I've been enjoying wearing a brace to kind of just help everything together. So let me show you without this. Here is my belly at 2 weeks postpartum. Here's me flexing. So that's the update, y'all. I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will catch you in the next update. Bye.